Hey team, what's up? Listen, we just finished speaking on stage right now, a couple thousand people down here in Orlando, and I think timing is beautiful. I always say you can never force when beautiful things are about to happen. You can only keep taking the right action. And I continue working, and on my beautiful journey of working, I meet amazing people inside of life, and I so happen to meet one of the most powerful individuals that I know inside of life, and has been a lethal weapon for me behind the scenes. And he's actually the host of bringing me up on stage, full 360 moment, from being one of my mentors to bringing me up on stage today in front of thousands of people. No other than one of the most powerful speakers I've ever met, somebody that has transformed not just my life, but thousands of other lives. I want to introduce to you my good friend, amazing author with an incredible story, and not just a speaking coach, a confidence coach, a branding coach, and now even a sales coach, my good friend, Mr. Yahya Bakkar. Let's dive right into it. There's so much to say, but we want to keep this interview impactful, but I want to give Yahya the ability to just, give me the 2-second story, 20-second, 2-minute story of how you've been able to get to where you are inside of your career. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of resets and a lot of beautiful moments inside of your life. Yeah. Simultaneously, the one thing that has been consistent was the impact throughout.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing and the most important thing, because everybody always talks about impact, but the one thing that has been consistent from you since the day I've seen you online, whether somebody bought your program or hasn't, from opening up your ministry to doing what you're doing now, there's always been a line of impact. So give us like the story about who you are and how you got to where you are right now.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be here. I'm so proud of you, seeing you come up. You're powerful in your own right, but seeing you grow into what you're doing, introing you on stage, it's dope. So I want to give credit where credit is due. I can't take credit for what God has done inside of you. My story in a nutshell, I was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, to a Muslim Syrian father, Buddhist Thai mother. Came to the United States when I was 5 years old, was raised by an Iraqi family. And then I kind of like grew up with an early identity crisis. So when I mean that, it's like I always had to figure out who I was and where I belonged, and I would always I was a people pleaser. And I was afraid of letting my father down. And so I know we're going to talk about confidence, but you have to understand, growing up, I didn't have that much confidence because I always wanted to please my family. And then it wasn't until I was 17 years old, I decided to leave my faith, and I went on a journey of self-discovery for the next 16 years. During that journey, when I was 21, that's when I dropped out of college and I became a motivational speaker and life coach for young people. And so I was Tony Robbins' youngest graduate at 21 years old, and at 21 years old, I also spoke on 40 different stages. This was back in 2011. I'm 37 years old right now at the time of this recording. And so I invested in mentorship, and I went all in for the calling, and people thought I was nuts, but all I had was myself.
So that was investing in Tony.
I invested in Tony, and I invested in a speaking program called Youth Speaker University by my first mentor, Josh Shipp. And I went in, and I got 40 paid speaking engagements, and then I graduated as the youngest graduate in Tony Robbins' coaching program. And because I was so young, no one was going to take me seriously as a coach, right? Because I couldn't. What kind of life advice was I going to give at 21 years old? Even though I went through a lot, right? So I decided to niche down and focus on the market, the youth market, high schools and colleges, and I was speaking about overcoming adversity and student leadership and team building and all that good stuff. So I went all in, and that lasted up for another 7 years. In 2016, I had over 120 paid speaking engagements all around the world. And these were paid speaking engagements. I was getting anywhere between $2,500 to $25,000 per gig, right? At that time, like there was like Jurassic days. And I realized at that time, this wasn't going to be a sustainable business model, because my biggest dream in my 20s was to build a family that I never had growing up. And you know this, I've been married to my high school sweetheart. We've been together for 22 years, married for 11. So, and the reason why I was a devoted family man was because my father got married 12 times with 12 different women. So a lot of what gives me the confidence and the boldness to be who I am today was not knowing who I was when I was younger and seeing the examples of who I didn't want to be.
Wow.
And so that gave me a stronger drive and a willpower to defy the odds and not get distracted by the temptations that usually come during that age. And so I went all in. 2017, I invested about $250,000 into multiple masterminds and mentors, and I wanted to figure out, how do I continue making an impact without being on the road? Because being a road warrior, we talked about this, it's tough.
Yep.
right? But I still had a skill, which was speaking and communicating my value or my message, but I wanted to do it online. And not a lot of people were doing it at that time. And so when I invested in the mentorship, I learned from different types of people, and they're all basically saying the same exact thing, just peppered differently. And so 2018, I created World Class Speaker Academy, and I taught aspiring thought leaders how to become better speakers to build their brand and get more clients. And then I found a niche, and from there I partnered up with a great friend of mine, Gerard Adams. He exited his company for $24 million.
Yep.
He was my client at first. I was his speaking coach, and then I was like, let's partner up, let's do something great for leadership. And then we built world-class leaders, and that's when you came into the picture. And then we grew out of that, and I created the social media selling system. Because one thing that I saw was that speaking was just a tool, but so was social media. And if you can take, whether you're offline or whether you're online, you can still communicate your value and your message in a powerful way, and you can create a bigger impact. And so that became a thing, and then we can go to it another time. I had my come to Jesus moment, and that was the reset that turned around.
And because I don't want to pass over that.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Just so they understand.
Of course.
So now you have a ministry too as well.
Yeah, I have a ministry
in Florida.
In Florida, it's a discipleship ministry. It's now online. It used to be in person.
Yes.
But because I'm traveling a lot more this year, my kids are now. I have 3 kids. My twins are 6. My oldest is 7, going to be 8. And so my whole, so you understand and the audience understands, I'm a family man first, businessman last.
Yeah.
So the success that I've built wasn't at the expense of my family. So that means I needed the right business model to become the best role model for the ones that I love. And so I made sure over the last almost 8 years that I would just work from home. So that means I cut down the traveling like crazy. I became a secret weapon to a lot of leaders behind the scenes to help them build out. But now I feel like I'm coming back into the mix, and now I'm flexing, but it's not to lift my name, but it's to lift his name, you know? So I'm just being used as an instrument in this season. So all of that, so I have a ministry called Fruitful Father Ministries, and also kingdomclosers.com. And our vision is to transform 1,000 business leaders to save 1 billion souls by 2030.
Wow. So also at the same time, just for context for everybody, you are also now leading sales teams as well.
It wasn't my plan, but God's plan is bigger than my own.
I love that. So now I'm going to take it one step back.
Yeah.
I think I become a better closer. What I've noticed is I became a better closer when I became a better speaker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, but now that I speak and I train 24/7, closing's like easy.
Yeah.
The more you speak, the more you start to understand people,
Yeah.
your confidence builds, and confidence is everything inside of sales. Confidence is energy, is everything inside of sales. So for somebody watching this right now, what would be the tip if people want to become better speakers?
Yeah.
And this is like somebody asked me, like, what's the number one closing line? But what would you say in order to be more confident, to start off, to be more confident when they sell to people on Zoom, when they're selling to people through social media?
Yeah.
You're a speaker on social media, or they're on stage and they want to start speaking better. What's a confidence strategy so people can be like, all right, this is how I build confidence? Where do you start with this confidence thing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. In the short amount of time for me to answer it, I will just say this. There's the art and the science of speaking, right? Closing or speaking, selling is just your ability to communicate value. Do you have clarity on what you're trying to say? If you don't, clarity comes from action, not thinking. So you just need to express yourself a bit more. The problem is a lot of people, they don't have confidence because they're in their head. So they have analysis paralysis. So they're afraid to, like I remember when I was speaking full time and then I got on camera for the first time, it was more challenging for me to look directly to the camera because I looked like I was looking at a gun barrel hole.
Right.
And I'm so used to speaking to an audience and I'm like, I'm just speaking to a lens. I don't know. So it was a skill set. But so what I did was I challenged myself. So whether you're online or on camera or in person, like get over the need to be perfect, right? So I challenged it used to take me, before I went on social media, when I just got started, to shoot a 3-minute video, it would take me about 30 minutes to 3 hours. Like I just saw you, there was no prep. You just went, hey, what's up guys? And you did your thing, right? Because you put in the reps. So I think wherever you're at, if you're just starting out, the number one thing you need to do is just start. And you just keep going consistently.
Now you said something about clarity though.
Yeah.
You said, so a lack of clarity is a lack of action. What did you say?
A lack of clarity is usually a reflection of a lack of identity. So people don't know who they are, so they don't know what to say, right? If you know who you are, you can express from that place, right? So what is one thing that you're absolutely certain about that is a non-negotiable? that nobody can shake you on, okay? Translate and transfer that confidence into whatever you're saying. Most people, they wait to have everything figured out, but you don't need that in the very, very beginning. So this is what I'm saying, clarity comes from action, not thinking about it. So the more you put in the reps to just express yourself, many people are just holding back until they wait to figure it out, but just express yourself. Like I'm sure for you, you just go. Yeah. And you just, I don't know how to do, but let me get in here. If you're doing sales, you just get on a call, and you're like, okay, let me figure out this script, and then eventually you embody the script. Right. Right, and so you embody the message and it becomes you. So figure out what's one thing that you feel certain about within you. Talk more about that. So when I used to do the social media selling system, I did a video a day for 365 days straight. This was in 2018. And the reason why I challenged myself was because I was afraid to look stupid on the camera. And it took me forever to shoot a 3-minute video. So I just challenged myself a video a day. This is before it became like create content like crazy. I just literally took my phone. I don't have to look pretty or polished or presentable. People don't care about a presentation, they want a conversation. So as long as you right now, you're my best friend. So I'm gonna talk to you like you're my best friend. I'm not gonna try to posture or position myself to be someone that I'm not. Instead of coming off as an authority, I'm just gonna bring in my authenticity, right? And so as long as I lead from that place, now it's like, okay, you get to know a part of me that will make you feel safe and seen. Whether you like me or you don't like me, at least you get to know me. And then whatever I'm saying later on, that can build trust or not build trust. As people do business with people they know, like, and trust. What do you know about yourself that you can express to others?
I love that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel, the way I see it is like, when you're creating content and you're speaking, it doesn't feel like almost like you're a drain. It's like you're a fountain. Like you can pour in about that subject. You can keep talking where it feels like, all right, let me just pour in instead of feeling like, oh, I gotta talk about this. Find something that you have clarity about or certainty about. Yes. And you can pour in like a fountain instead of every time you feel like you gotta speak, it feels like you're getting drained out.
Yeah, and it's okay, watch this. It's okay to not have everything figured out and still press start or still go on stage. Right. Like if a person is getting on camera or getting on stage, and if they literally said, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't really prepare, I suck as a speaker. Automatically, people are like, oh, that's human. Because people gravitate to authenticity. They don't, like, there's a thing that people think, like, oh, if in order for me to get on stage or in order for me to get on camera, I need to be an authority. And while that might be true, there's something called the curse of knowledge, where if you know more than another person, you try to educate other people, what's gonna happen is other people are gonna feel alienated and intimidated to come closer to you. So the best thing that you can do when you're first starting out, I know you want confidence, but confidence can only come from competence. So you just need to put yourself out there and just communicate from a place of like, yo, this is me. I don't have everything figured out. This is who I am. What about some of you gonna like me? Some of you don't like me. It's like, I don't know this guy, or I don't really like this guy. You know how many people say they don't like me and they don't like you? But then after a while, they start hearing you because you're not trying to edit yourself.
Correct.
You're just you.
Correct. It's very interesting how I do these things subconsciously now. They think of it like I went on stage today. When you introed me, I'm like, guys, I don't got a PowerPoint. Like, I don't know what I'm about to say, but I'm about to lead from here. So I don't know, maybe some of you guys won't like me, maybe some of you guys won't. And by the way, I also genuinely don't care, I said, because I got paid a paycheck still. And people start laughing, right? And I'm like, I won't lose you guys because I've never had you guys. So I'm being honest with them, right? If some of you guys don't like me, we were never friends in the beginning, so I don't go negative friends. And they're like, oh, wow, he's just being real with me. And that creates a connection after. So as a speaker, is there a tip you have for somebody that's on stage while they're speaking to magnify their message or become a better speaker, of things that you could think about that you see a common denominator of these powerful speakers on stage that you've almost reverse engineered? Because there's these, I've never, like, I reverse engineered sales well. Like when I'm like, okay, that's what's happening inside of the sale. But there's these things where you're like, that's a good speaker. That's what that person's doing. Like when I train every single week, but like sometimes there's a speaker here and there behind the scenes, I'm listening to him like, he's good, she's good. She's good. What's the common denominator?
So my name in Arabic, Yahya, translates to come alive. So I have this acronym called ALIVE. The goal is when you're on stage or when you're on camera, you want to make sure you come alive because your energy introduces you, right? And so ALIVE stands for A, authentic. Are you being authentic, right? L, likable. That doesn't mean that you want everybody to like you. Mean like you like yourself enough to be real. Does that make sense? I'm not getting on stage to be liked by everybody, but I like myself. I love myself enough to not worry if you like me.
Wow.
You saw how that translates?
Right.
Authentic and likable. So the confidence comes from how you feel in your own skin.
Self-esteem.
Right.
How much you like yourself.
Right. Then I is impactful or influential. Right. Remember, when you're on stage or you're on camera, it's not about you. They don't care about you. They want to know how much you care about them. So you gotta remember, who are you there for? Many people, they make the mistake of talking about themselves and their story, which is good as long as it serves or solves a problem, serves a purpose for your audience, right? V, vulnerable. So L-I-V, vulnerable. Vulnerable is just wearing your heart on your sleeve and not pretending to be someone that you're not. That doesn't mean you cry your eyes out and you throw a sob story. No, you're just like honest. I'm vulnerable, guys. This is my weakness. I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, and here where they are. And then E, empowering. At the end of the day, before you leave stage or before you get off camera, did you empower the person, the viewer that's on the other side of that stage? When you realize that when you get up on stage, it's not about you telling your story. It's about you solving a problem. Your story happens to solve a problem that they're struggling with right now, right? The number one mistake most people make when they're speaking is they think it's about, listen, I've coached some of the biggest thought leaders. The number one mistake they make, they think it's about them. It's not about them. But you can be used as an instrument to solve their problem. When I look at you, you have a big personality. People know you built a strong brand, Daniel G. You have a celebrity and an aura about you, okay? But when you're on stage, that was just a hook. When you're on stage, it's all about them.
Right.
When I listen to you,
right.
I pay attention. Now listen to this. I want you to write this down. If you're capturing this, just write this down. As you're writing this down,
yep.
When you're speaking, it's less I, you, I. It should be more about you. I and you did this, right? So remember, anytime you're given the opportunity to hold a mic or get on a lens, behind a lens, just say, who are you speaking to? Okay? What problem are they struggling with? Why are you qualified to talk about this? And what do they need to do next?
I love that sequence.
Yeah.
Can you say that one more time?
I forgot it. No, who are you speaking to?
Yeah, why are you qualified to solve the problem?
No, who are you speaking to? What problem are they struggling with? Why are you qualified to speak about their problem? And what should they do next?
Wow.
So if there's a framework that you want to have, I learned this from, I love to give credit where credit is due. He's the founder of, his name is Pete Vargas. He was doing something called the Reach Academy, and he said, guys, I'm gonna give you a small framework. We call it the story braid framework. And he said, heart, head, hands, heart. So let's say if you have a 1 minute, 20 minutes, in our presentation, use this framework. Heart, I'm gonna share a personal story with you. Head, here's what I've learned. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Hands, here's what you need to do next after you hear me. And then let me close, by the way, here's a personal story and why I think you can achieve the impossible. You see? I did that in less than 30 seconds. So whatever you want to say, put it in the filter and the framework of the heart, head, hands, and then heart, or the who, what, why, then what next.
I love that, because then your intention is about, like, I've realized why I do well on stage sometimes, just rather than even doing it on a camera, because when I see on stage, I see humans, and the moment I see these humans, I'm like, all right, let's make these people money. Let's get to work. Even when I get on stage, I'm like, all right, guys, sit down. Let's get to work.
That's the first thing you said.
Yeah, it's just innate.
That.
It's just innate. I'm like, hey, let's get to work. I need to make you guys money. Let's go. And I think by leading with that in my head, I'm in it for the people. I'm not trying to, hey, this is how cool I am. I'm like, all right, what the heck do we need to do in order for these people to make money? What's interesting to them? Like, what's their problems that they're struggling with? Let me get in and solve this problem for them, right? And I think that builds trust too as well with the audience, because when you're leading with your heart, because I think they buy from here, people feel that and they say, you know, I think the highest form of rapport and trust is when you know somebody's interested in your best interest. When you know somebody's invested in your best interest, that's the best salespeople, that's the best influencers, that's the best communicators. Last question I have. I'm a speaker on stage, and I'm talking. My name's Bob, and I'm on stage, and I don't know if you've ever been through this, but you start thinking now about yourself, and you get out of that about the audience, and now you're like, oh, or you just screwed up about something. Say you screw up on stage, right?
I love
Because
this.
I think this, I talk about with my guys, right? And
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was a thing in the beginning that you get caught up in your head after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they might not even be thinking of it, right? Like, oh my God, my zipper was down the whole time, or this was on my shirt, right? And now I get up, I'm in short shorts on stage. I'm like, I don't even care,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm leading with this right now.
Amen.
But some people get caught up inside of their own head where they said something wrong. Then that stuttering leads to like another hour of stuttering or whatever the case is. What's something somebody can do or think of while they're on stage?
Yeah.
When they mess up, they don't get caught up inside of their own head. Because
Yeah.
if they were able to operate like to do with their friends, they would do great. So like,
Right.
what is there something that we can go through?
Write this down. If you can't fix it, feature it.
Wow, love it.
If you can't fix it, feature it. So if my zipper was untied,
Yes.
right? Or if I spelled something on myself, or just whatever.
Yes.
Or I forgot something.
Yes.
I'm gonna acknowledge it because everybody's acknowledging it. And I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. Right? It only becomes a big deal when you make it a big deal. Because you think it should be something than what it isn't. So a lot of the analysis paralysis and the judgment that people have is because they're criticizing or they're afraid of criticism. They're afraid of what people are gonna think of them. When you get up on stage or you're on camera and I wanted to say this at the end before we prayed for you. I wanted to say, if there's one thing I've learned about business is everybody can have an opinion, but you have to have your own experience. People can say whatever they want about you, online or offline, but I know who you are. And so I hold you to that standard. You wanna make sure you give other people the permission to do the same.
Wow. Can you repeat that one more time? The opinion and experience.
Everybody can have an opinion of you, but you have to have an experience of who you are. There are people who are gonna say, as you rise through the ladders of success and fulfillment, everybody's gonna have something to say. But the more you let go of the opinions of others and you let God kind of like order your steps, everything falls into place. So there's nothing that, like I have this humility statement for me. I'm never as good as people say I am, and I'm never as bad as people say I am. I am who God says I am. So that just keeps me grounded, because if you're not careful, pride comes before the fall.
Wait. Again, repeat that one, because that was huge.
Yeah.
I'm never as good.
You're never as good as people say you are.
Yes.
And you're never as bad as people say you are. You are who God says you are. And that identity keeps you grounded and rooted in humility and maturity to continue to grow and be a student throughout life. Like me, I'm okay being behind the scenes, but I'm also okay being front and center, right? I prefer being behind the scenes, if I'm being completely honest,
Right.
than front and center.
Wow.
Because I'd rather, shine a spotlight on other people, but that took time, right? And I realized over time we need different messengers for the same message.
Wow, team, incredible. Listen, if you guys found value from this amazing show and podcast, by the way, this wasn't planned. This was just perfect timing. I seen Yaya. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more of Yaya Bakkar, maybe do some events with myself. I mean, he's a lethal weapon behind the scenes. He's phenomenal. Let me know inside of the comments. I love you guys. And until next video, I'll see you soon.